Do you ever look around and think, wow, the world is a crazy place, and it just seems to get crazier and crazier? Ease your mind and take a break. This is Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. We're a hub for inspirational Christian sermons, practical keys for Christian living, and Christian discussions and interviews. You'll be inspired to live the life that you were created for. Your host is a top-ranking podcaster, best-selling author, world record holder, aerospace engineer, life coach, evangelist, and founder of John Giftah International. Welcome to Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of the Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah podcast, where I want to talk to you today on another lesson that we can learn from the life of David. This whole week we've been talking and learning about different things we can learn from 1 Samuel chapter 17, and I really recommend you to go back and check the powerful lessons that you can inculcate in your life. And even right now, I want to share something very important with you. To give you a little bit of context in case you're not familiar with this passage, this is the moment when David is going to meet his brothers who are in the army, and his dad had given him instructions saying, I want you to go and give them food, and I want you to give me a report of what is happening and what is going on. And David is going there diligently, and here's the thing I want you to understand, that when he goes there, he comes to know about what is happening with regard to Goliath taunting the army, and everybody's so scared, not knowing what to do. So I want to share two verses with you specifically from this, and share an important lesson from this that we can learn. When you look at verse number 22, it says, David left his things with the keeper of supplies and hurried out to the ranks to greet his brothers. Now I want you to understand, like I said, if you see through those verses, David had carried a lot of things that his dad had given, a basket of roasted grain and 10 loaves of bread and all, stuff like that Jesse had given in verse 17. You can check this out. So here in verse 22, David leaves those things out, and then he goes to meet his brothers, right? And then a long story made short, when you see he's getting ready to defeat Goliath. Okay, here's the thing I want you to understand. He has this encounter with King Saul, and then finally he agrees to do it. And long story made short, right, if you look at verse 40, it says, he picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with the shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistines. So, a Philistine, that is Goliath. Here's the thing I want you to understand, right? When you look at verse 22, he left the supplies with the keeper. When you look at verse 40, it says that he picked up stones and put them in his shepherd's bag, which means that he was still carrying the shepherd's bag, and he was carrying the staff and the sling. Okay, I want you to understand something here. David knew what to carry and what not to carry, and he knew what to carry, when to carry. You know what I mean? So when David went to meet with his brothers, he was not doing a shepherding job. He has given his sheep into the hands of another shepherd, the Bible says. And then he comes here, right? He's taken care of the sheep and he's come here. So he's not doing a shepherding job. But even there, he brought his shepherd's bag, shepherd's staff, and shepherd's sling, right? I want you to understand this. And even when he comes here, what happens? He keeps those items, those supplies, and then he still does not leave his sling and the shepherd bag there. He's carrying those with him. You know what I mean? So listen, this is a very powerful lesson, because a lot of people miss this. They take the wrong things with them, and they're carrying the wrong things with them. David did not carry the supplies when he was going to meet his brothers. He gave those supplies to the concerned person, and then he walks. But when he's keeping those supplies there, he's not keeping his staff and the sling also. You know what I mean? Like, he's not walking like a free man. What I wanted to understand is, certain things that you need to carry with you, but learn what to keep, so that you don't have to carry things that you don't have to carry, but also always be armed to carry things that are connected to your calling. This is an important lesson we need to learn. For example, right, if I'm saying I'm called to be a content creator, for example, right, like one example I want to give you. So if I'm going to be like, I never know when I'm going to get an opportunity to make a video, right? I have to carry the phone with me, right? I have to make sure that, okay, I have the phone with me so I can take the video. One of the lessons I learned in recent times especially is that there were times I did not carry extra books. I've authored multiple books, right? I didn't carry extra books with me, and I would meet somebody and I would want to give a book to them, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd carried an extra book. I wish I'd carried my book. You know what I mean? So this is a lesson to learn. Like, David brought things that were connected to his destiny because he was always prepared for that opportunity. Whereas when he knows that he doesn't have to carry the supplies wherever, like even to carry, imagine if he was carrying all the supplies and going to fight Goliath. It makes no sense, right? So if you are called for something, there are times you need to let go of things that are burdens, or there are cares, or there are things that you're carrying that you don't have to carry. You need to put it off and take with you only the things that are connected to your destiny. That's a lesson to learn from David. He carried things that were connected to his calling, his purpose, his destiny, and put off the things that were not connected to his destiny at that point. And that's a lesson that I want to share with you guys today, that you will make sure that in any area of your life that you are saying, I'm praying for God to give me a Goliath moment, or I'm praying for God to help me to fulfill my purpose. You need to make sure that you know when to carry what and when to leave something and carry certain things with you wherever you go. So
you've been listening to Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. We hope you were blessed and inspired to live the life that God has for you. Make sure to subscribe to the John Giftah YouTube channel for regular uploads of sermons, skits, interviews, and more. Follow John Giftah on Instagram for regular inspirational posts. And don't forget to check out the best-selling books written by John Giftah, Who Am I?, which will help you understand your identity, and the latest #1 bestseller, Unveil Your Purpose, helping you discover your purpose and to start walking in it. Make sure to leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends and loved ones. If you'd like to donate, you can find the PayPal link in the description. And if you'd like to invite John Giftah to speak at your event or to get more details, go to the website at www.johngiftah.com. See you on the next episode of The Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. God bless you.